Hello everyone, my name is Interrupter5000, and today I want to talk about how we could see more characters introduced into Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. But before I begin, it would really help me out if you liked and subscribed to my channel. It really does not take too long to do, and you can always unsub later if you don't like my content. But let's get into the actual video. So, I wanted to talk about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and possible DLC characters and a DLC story. So in Suicide Squad, the 4 characters that will be in the base game will be Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, King Shark, and Deadshot. But I wanted to talk about 4 DLC characters and a DLC story for those characters. So, let's not waste any more time and get into the characters. This first character would be the Harley Quinn character of the bunch, and I think that the first character should be Deathstroke. When I was looking at the other characters and the way they play, I chose Slade to be the Harley Quinn since she does not have any jetpacks or supersonic speeds. Also, out of all the characters I have chosen, Slade seems the most likely because in Arkham Origins, it showed Amanda Waller was giving Deathstroke a contract or something like that to join Task Force X, meaning that he is in the squad in the Arkhamverse. Slade would also be a very interesting character to play because the amount of weapons he has, but mainly of his sword and staff, is the reason why I chose Slade to be the Harley Quinn of the DLC. The next character I wanted to talk about will be the Captain Boomerang of the DLC. I decided to go with Cheetah because of her immense speed as a cheetah, and also Captain Boomerang seems to be the most nimble of the group, and Cheetah is usually the fastest and most agile of the squad. And I also think that would be a great idea to have Cheetah in the game because she is usually always fighting one of the members of the Justice League. Also, with her brutality and her claws, she can make blood spill all over the streets of Metropolis and can make a really interesting character. I don't know what else to play here, to be honest. We got 2 more characters left, so let's talk about the Deadshot of the group, which you would have thought it would be Slade, but the character I chose as the Deadshot of the group is Black Manta. Because Deadshot definitely seems to be a ranged character, Black Manta's weapons are mainly ranged, but would have a lot more melee weapons than Deadshot would have. Manta also in the squad. Manta also is in the squad in most iterations. Also, Manta being in the DLC is going to work really well with what the DLC will be about, which I'll talk about later. Manta is also a character that makes more sense to send to fight the Justice League because he has before many times and won against most of the members. Lastly, we have the King Shark of the group, which is going to be Killer Croc for many reasons, because there's no other character I think that would fit in the role of King Shark. Well, maybe Bane, but Croc I feel like fits better here. Now, Killer Croc is not as strong or mobile as King Shark, so he would not be able to jump super high into the air, but instead can travel through the sewers to make up for his lack of mobility off of the ground. Croc would not have a gun, but have the strongest melee out of all the characters in the entire game. Alright, now that we have talked about the characters, let's talk about the DLC story that would come with these 4. So the story is that Task Force Z, is what I will call it, will be fighting the other members of the Justice League. The League members that Task Force Z will be fighting is Corrupt Aquaman, Corrupt Cyborg, Normal Martian Manhunter, and a plot twist villain, Lex Luthor. The reason why I chose these 4 is because the members I listed were not shown in the trailers or have been confirmed. And also it is shown that LexCorp is in the Arkhamverse, so I'm going to talk about the bosses and their fights and what they can do. Let's begin with Aquaman. So, Task Force Z has arrived in Metropolis near the shore like in the Suicide Squad movie. So after going through a level of enemies, the squad is about to enter the city when a blast of water hits the team and Aquaman walks out of the water. Black Manta gets up and starts to walk towards Aquaman. The two talk about how he murdered his father and he's gonna pay, and you are usually back in your usual back and forth. Fuck! Let's begin with Aquaman, shall we? So, Task Force Z has arrived in Metropolis near the shore like in the Suicide Squad movie. So after going through a level of enemies, the squad is about to enter the city when a blast of water hits the team and Aquaman walks out of the water. Black Manta gets up and starts to walk towards Aquaman. The two talk about how he murdered his father and he is gonna pay, and your usual back and forth banter. Then Aquaman will use the water to make the arena lower into the ground with the water manipulated to an arena, and the fight begins. Aquaman can use his trident to attack, obviously by throwing it, getting up close, and using melee attacks, and also can get into a clash with Black Manta with their weapons where to clash. I know, grammar sucked there. Shut up. Aquaman can also call upon corrupt Atlanteans and Kraken tentacles coming in from the sides of the arena. As the fight continues, the arena will slowly get smaller and smaller, and the ground will begin to fill up with more water. Near the end of the battle, there will be a quick time event for Aquaman, where whoever you are playing as will clash with Aquaman, but it will always end with your character pushing Aquaman back and Black Manta running at him and stabbing Aquaman, with his final words being, "For Brainiac," before he dies. The arena floods and the squad washes up to shore and proceeds to enter the city. I think that if the fight ended with Manta finally killing Aquaman, it would be perfect. Alright, let's move on to Corrupt Cyborg. The squad would be in LexCorp when all of the tech around them shuts down, when all but one light turns on, revealing a corrupt cyborg standing there. Cyborg then goes on to on a huge monologue about how Brainiac will rule the galaxy and stuff like that, when Deathstroke yells, "Are you done yet, or are we going to fight?" Cyborg says alright, and then the boss begins. Cyborg has the biggest arsenal out of all the bosses, and since you are in LexCorp, he has tons of hacked Lexbox coming in for the first phase of the boss. Once they are all defeated, then Cyborg will jump down and fight you personally. Cyborg can use missiles, laser beams, bombs, enlarged fists, the whole bunch, baby. While you all are fighting him, any tech-related attacks the characters have will be unusable in this fight, and if used will shock your character. As the fight continues, Cyborg will slowly keep hacking LexCorp in. If he is not defeated before he is done hacking, then the mission will fail and you'll need to restart the fight. Once Cyborg is defeated, Cheetah this time will pounce onto Cyborg and start to claw and rip out Cyborg's insides. The third boss is a non-corrupt Martian Manhunter, The third boss is a non-corrupted Martian Manhunter, where he will try to stop you from continuing to harm the rest of the Justice League. Once he realizes that you are there to kill the Justice League, he will begin a fight with you in the squad. This time, Martian Manhunter will use his abilities against you, which he has a lot, but This time, Martian Manhunter will use his abilities against you, which he has a lot, but in the fight will not use too many. For the first time of the fight, you will be unable to hurt him because he will be using his phase ability to dodge your attacks, but there will be a small window to attack him, and if hit will do a lot of damage to him. Once phase 1 is completed, he will stop using his phase ability and will begin to his other ability. Once phase 1 is complete, he will stop using his phase attack and will begin to use his other abilities. Like, he will use his morphing abilities to attack, he'll be disappearing and reappearing in various spots, and will eventually grow into a Hulk-like beast for a moment. The final phase is that he makes rubble come down, creating a bunch of smoke, and will shapeshift into one of the members of the squad, and the player will have to decrypt which one is the real one. And while in this phase, you can attack your teammates to punish you for not guessing correctly. In the ending of the fight is where Manta blasts Martian Manhunter, and Killer Croc grabs John and bites his head off, following Manta, incinerating it. The final boss in the DLC is a twist villain with Lex Luthor helping out the squad with certain weapons and some other things, but after the squad finishes killing the remaining members of the League, Lex will get into a suit and begin to attack the squad. Lex would be like Superman, but obviously not shooting lasers from his eyes, but from his hands and chest. He can also fly around incredibly fast since his suit is meant to be like Superman. Just like the Cyborg boss, tech attacks will be useless and melee attacks are not as effective as they normally would be. In phase 2 of the boss, his suit would get more upgraded and more armor on him. In this phase, Lex will be in his most powerful state. Lex will have an attack where, if not damage is applied, will basically insta-kill you. All of Lex's previous abilities are way stronger and a lot faster. Once Lex is low enough, a in-game cutscene will play with Lex firing lasers at the squad, and all of them running at him with Deathstroke dodging all of them and jumping up and stabbing Lex through his helmet, killing him, ending the fight, and the DLC. Well, that is all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and sorry if, God damn it. Sorry if I mess up a lot. This was my first time viewing a commentary video, kind of. Well, it's not really commentary. It's the first time I read off a script that I made, so that's why it was so wobbly and there's gonna be a lot of cuts. But yeah, if you like this, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. So good night or morning or noon or whatever time you are in. Bye.